Andrew Tucker, and welcome to Andrew Tucker World. What's going on, all my great people? What's going on, all my boxing fans? So it looks like we have a fight for undisputed, right? It's a possibility that George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney is set for June the 4th. I think fighters have came to an agreement. I think that everything was worked out. I'm gonna go into further detail to see if this fight is actually finalized. But according to one source I feel is reliable, that the fight is set for June the 4th. You know what I mean? Between Devin Haney, the WBC lightweight champion, versus George Kambosos Jr., unified lightweight champion. Devin Haney confident of victory over George Kambosos Jr. on June the 4th. So Devin Haney feels that he's going to beat George Kambosos Jr. Just like I believe George Kambosos Jr. believe he's going to beat Devin Haney. He believe he dethroned Teofimo Lopez. So he believes that he will snatch the title from Devin the Dream Haney. I know both of these fighters have the will to win. I know that both of these fighters have the hunger and the determination. Sometimes you have fighters have handlers, right? And people in their corner, telling them things, saying certain things. And I know Devin Haney has a promotional company. He's partnership, you shall say, with Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? But to be honest with you, Eddie Hearn is more of the promoter, because it seems like he's calling pretty much all the shots, so it's like he pretty much is in charge, and the promoter, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm not here to get into that. Much love and respect to both of these young fighters, George Kambosos Jr., Devin the Dream Haney. Both of these guys are great fighters, very fundamentally sound, very skilled young fighters. And I can't wait to see this fight. It's a great fight. Devin Haney is confident that he'll bring down four-belt lightweight champion George Kambosos Jr. when the two share the ring on June the 4th for the undisputed 135-pound championship in Australia. So it seems like this fight has been finalized and is confirmed. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that we will get the green light that the fight is finalized, and I guess but from when I'm hearing that the fight is finalized, that it's a done deal, and they're going to fight in Australia. George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin the Dream Haney. And I think this is a great fight. It's a fight that to be honest with you, I would love to see George Kambosos Jr. versus Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko feel that he had to do what was necessary and more important than boxing. Fighting for his country. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. So much love and respect to Vasily Lomachenko. Much love and respect to him. He's a gladiator. He's a warrior. A fighter that's so fundamentally sound and skilled, elite level fighter that has a lot of heart, determination, the will to win. A superior pure boxer puncher, and he's a leader. So fighting for his country, joining the army, or whatever, fighting for his country. I commend him. I commend him on that. And much love and respect to Vasily Lomachenko. But I believe that was going to be the fight. George Kambosos Jr. had other options, but so I believe that but to be honest with you, the fight that makes more sense to me, to be honest with you, is the Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. for all the titles on the line, for undisputed. Some people felt that George Kambosos Jr. is already undisputed because of the franchise title, but I'm not here to get into that, the situation with the World Boxing Council and how they do things and all these belts and what belt is the more prestigious over the other, or the what belt comes before the other, or is labeled higher than the other. I'm not here to get into all that. You know what I mean? But Devin Haney is confident that he'll bring down 4-belt lightweight champion George Kambosos Jr. when the two share the ring on June the 4th for the undisputed 135-pound championship in Australia. Boxing fans were looking forward to seeing George Kambosos Jr. defend against Vasily Lomachenko, but that's not happening now. Haney's promoter Eddie Hearn says he's closing in on a deal with Kambosos' promoter Lou DiBella for a massive fight on June the 4th. Now that Haney's main competition is out the way, with Vasily Lomachenko having gone away to war in Ukraine, Devin is sitting pretty in the pole position by default to get the clash with George Kambosos Jr. Boxing fans would obviously prefer to see George Kambosos Jr. face Gervonta Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia than Haney. Those two fights aren't an option to face the Australian next. It's pretty much down to Haney for one of the contenders at 135, and fragile. And fragile, that's not going to happen. I've got so many different styles. That whatever style I bring on that night, said Devin Haney to IFL TV on his confidence of beating George Kambosos Jr. George Kambosos Jr. versus Haney is likely going to be an ugly to watch fight with a lot of running, jabbing, holding on Devin's part. The money obviously would be good for Kambosos to take that fight, but it's going to be a bad one for him and the fans. The only way Kambosos beat Haney is if he knocks him out, and unfortunately, he lacks the pop in his punches to accomplish that task. Kambosos Jr. is a finesse, hit and run type of fighter who packs. Hold on, let me go back. So I'm reading. So Kambosos Jr. is a finesse, hit and run type of fighter who pecks away with single shots. Obviously, my ring IQ isn't going to be something totally different than what he's used to, Haney said of Kambosos Jr. I take my hat off to him. He's a great fighter, but he'll see something different when he gets in the ring with me. You know what I mean? So, like, the thing is this. Devin Haney is a pure boxer puncher. Stylistically, I see it being an entertaining fight. I'll do a prediction video sometime soon, or a breakdown video sometime soon. But he stylistically, it's going to be a great, entertaining fight because George Kambosos Jr. is a technical brawler, a boxer puncher, a technical brawler. He's a technician, a very skilled fighter as well. And I think stylistically, it makes it an entertaining fight. I don't necessarily see it being a boring fight. I think that George Kambosos Jr. is going to make Devin Haney dig down deep, and we're going to see a war. We're going to see moments they fight on the inside, on the outside. They're going to trade. They're going to counter. They're going to throw combinations. They're going to be slick. They're both slick fighters. They both are slickers, inside fighters, outside fighters. They both got great timing. Both are good counter punchers. They have the ring generalship, the ring IQ. Devin Haney could be slightly a little bit more slicker with the head movement and the getting in and getting out, the pivoting, the lateral movement. You know, the footwork might be slightly better, but we shall see. But I'm just glad that we get to see this fight, because I think this is one fight that makes more sense than the other, even though I would love to see George Kambosos Jr. versus George Kambosos Jr. versus Vasily Lomachenko based on the styles. And I would also love to see Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko, Tank Davis versus Vasily Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney, whatever. I like to see all these young fighters fight each other. But at the end of the day, you know, the fight that make more sense because of the titles and the belts, all the major titles on the line, would be the fight for Undisputed. But that's all I got for right now. More live streams coming, more videos coming. Andrew Tucker World. I'm out. Much love and respect.